I used to think the bed was our safest place. The one corner of the world where silence didn't need to be filled, where warmth was always shared, and where even the worst of arguments dissolved into tired laughter or quiet apologies. But lately, even the bed felt like a stage, and I was nothing more than an unwilling actor. Sophie, my wife of 8 years, turned toward me that night. Her hand brushed against mine, then trailed to my chest, as it always used to. Once, her touch was enough to steady me after a long day, enough to remind me of everything we'd built together. But now, her fingers felt heavy, weighted with guilt I could practically taste. I didn't move. In fact, I pulled away, shifting toward the edge of the mattress like the air itself had grown too thick to breathe. She froze. I could feel the tension in her hand as if it had been struck. Slowly, she whispered, "Why are you doing this?" I didn't answer right away. I stared at the ceiling, at the faint cracks spreading across the white paint, and thought about the cracks in us. Over the past 2 months, I had noticed them multiplying. Longer showers with her phone clutched nearby, sudden bursts of energy to dress up for girls' nights. The way she seemed present in body but far away in spirit when she returned home. And then came the final piece I couldn't ignore, the late-night message on her unlocked phone. Last night was worth every risk. Can't wait again. I hadn't confronted her immediately. Instead, I'd let it sit inside me, curdling into something darker. Maybe I wanted her to confess. Maybe I wanted her to feel the weight of what I already knew. So I'd pulled away, at dinner, in conversations, in bed. And now she was noticing. "Why are you so cold?" she whispered again, her voice trembling. I rolled onto my side, finally meeting her eyes. They were wide, searching, filled with the fear of a woman who knows the truth might already be out. "Because," I said slowly, "I don't know who you are when you touch me anymore." Her lips parted. A sharp inhale. And then came the question I knew she'd been dreading, the one she tried to bury under excuses and late-night laughs with someone else. You know, don't you?" The silence was heavier than any scream. She reached for my hand, desperate now, but I didn't let her. My body recoiled instinctively. Her tears brimmed, sliding down in the faint glow of the bedside lamp. "Sophie," I said, my voice low, "you don't even have to say it. I've seen enough. I've heard enough." "I know." Her sob broke the quiet. She sat up, clutching her knees, her hair falling in messy strands around her face. "It was a mistake," she stammered. It was just one night. I swear, it didn't mean anything." I almost laughed at the irony. Isn't that what they all say? It didn't mean anything. As if betrayal can be measured in meaning. As if sharing your body, your time, your attention with someone else while your spouse sits at home waiting is anything less than a choice carved into the heart. "One night," I repeated, raising an eyebrow. "So that message I saw about not being able to wait again, that was just a one-time thing?" Her eyes widened in horror. She hadn't realized I knew that much. She started, but her voice collapsed under the weight of the lie forming on her tongue. She knew there was no defense left. I pushed the blanket off me and sat on the edge of the bed, my back to her. "Do you remember when we first moved into this house?" I asked quietly. "How we didn't even have curtains for the first week, so the sun would wake us up every morning. And you said it felt like we were starting every day fresh. Do you remember how safe this bed used to feel?" She sobbed into her hands, her body shaking. "Well, Sophie," I said, standing now, "this bed doesn't feel safe anymore. Not to me." She scrambled to her feet, clutching at my arm. "Please don't do this. I was stupid, I was lonely, I made a mistake. But you're my husband. You're the one I love." "Love?" I turned to face her, the bitterness sharper than I'd ever let her see. "You don't get to use that word so easily. You loved me, but you also loved the way he looked at you, didn't you? The way he made you feel like you were 20 again. You wanted both. And in trying to have both, you destroyed us." Her tears turned frantic. She sank to her knees on the floor, clutching at me like the ground itself was crumbling beneath her. Please, I can fix this. Don't leave me." I looked down at her, the woman I once would have given everything for, now reduced to begging. A part of me wanted to bend down, to hold her, to forgive. But the bigger part of me, the part that had spent weeks lying awake, wondering why my wife's laughter was reserved for another man, knew forgiveness wasn't in me anymore. "You reached for me tonight," I said softly. "But the truth is, you haven't really reached for me in a long time. You reached for him. And now you're afraid of losing me. But Sophie, you already lost me the moment you let him in." Her sobs filled the room as I walked to the dresser, grabbed a small overnight bag, and started throwing a few essentials inside. She crawled after me, gripping at my legs, begging me not to go. I paused at the door, my hand on the knob, and gave her one last look. "You wanted to know why I pulled away," I said. "It's because I refused to share a bed with lies." And then, without another word, I walked out into the night, the cold air biting but honest. More honest than the warmth I had just left behind.